Jim Kelley here with me from Rona, ready to go with some ideas as we head into fall and winter. What you want to do, I know I'm sorry for even saying that, but what you want to do at this time of year is start thinking about how you're going to take care of your home as the harsher months come along.
Well, it's the time of year now to finish off those outdoor projects.
Yeah,
You really want to get those done. And number one, your roof. Because
you said it's the most important part of your house, perhaps.
I believe it is. I mean, it protects you, your belongings, everything, and water filters down through and causes issues. So you really want to try and eliminate that factor.
Okay. So tell me about, first of all, how do I tell if I need a roof, my roof replaced?
I brought in an old shingle here, and you can begin to see where the gap on the original 3 tab.
So it would have started like this?
Yeah, about a 1/4 inch, and now it's up over a 1/2 inch.
Yeah.
So you start to see that that kind of decay. Again, the aggregate, when it starts to break away and come free.
Yeah, okay.
And then they start to curl up as well.
Yeah, and you start
down.
to see this too. And that's when you really, I mean, it's obvious by looking at the roof even from the ground.
Exactly. Okay. So that's when you want to get started. Now, this shingle is what's called an organic shingle.
Right.
Which is...
It looks like cardboard.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's more or less, it's a paper product that's been infused with tar, which allows it to stand up to the elements. But over time, you start getting this shrinking. So now they've gone with the fiberglass, and
this doesn't shrink.
It doesn't shrink, exactly. They can infuse it with the same amount of tar, aggregate, and all that, and it'll lay flatter longer.
Okay, that's the issue. So when you go fiberglass, you're actually going to get a longer lasting roof.
The organics, they said they were 15 to 20 years, but they're really 10 to 15.
Yeah.
The fiberglass ones are getting up 20, 25, and then we also have some lifetime and 40-year shingles as well.
Well, I'm seeing a difference here, right? We're seeing these regular shingles that we notice, right?
The 3 tabs.
Okay, and then you lay one on top of the other, and it's kind of works.
Exactly.
But there's that space between the shingles.
Well, with the new architectural shingle,
right,
or the newer, it works really well because there's no seams, so you don't have that breakdown. They also are thicker because it's double laminated.
Oh, I see.
So
you can really
so
feel
you
that.
can see the difference,
and they look good too. It gives a really nice pattern to your roof.
Absolutely, really sharp. They are made for specific pitches of roofs.
Okay, so you can't get too steep or you can't get too flat.
Too flat.
Okay.
Anything below a 312, you have to remain with the 3 tab.
Okay.
Above that, the architectural works fantastic. It looks great, shows great.
Very nice. And this reminds me even of a cedar shake shape, right?
Exactly.
And it gives you that illusion. You can, of course, go with cedar shake or even steel roofs, which last a really long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's someone who's going to be in their home forever.
Yeah. I mean, the steel roofs, you see them on barns and places, they last for a really, really long time.
Is this as important underneath as your shingling?
Well, this is called Grip Guard, and what it does is it goes around the perimeter of your roof.
Okay.
It's got an adhesive back.
Yeah.
So you roll it out and stick it to the perimeter around chimneys, around valleys, any of that, and the rest of it gets done with the regular felt paper. But what this does, it doesn't allow the water, because you get ice damming and that kind of stuff in the wintertime. Well, the ice tends to travel up underneath the shingles and only around the perimeter of the roof. You don't see it on the top, only on the edges. This will allow the water to shed away when it does melt.
Okay.
But when you do have ice, that means you have other things you should...
You have bigger problems, and when you have ice, I think you start looking at venting, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Number one most important thing.
So when icing, first of all, the ice, when you have it, it means that the bottom of the snow is being melted, right?
That's right. The heat from the house is going up into the attic, melting the lowest surface of the snow at the roof line. As it goes down towards the edge of the roof, it then begins to cool and freeze.
Gotcha.
And then as that builds up, you get the big icicles.
It destroys your eaves. It's pretty destructive,
Exactly. You can rip down eaves troughing absolutely everywhere. So we want to make sure that you have good ventilation coming up through the soffit. And these are the different types of vents that you can use. You've got the maxi vents here, which are great because the air can pass through one side, and it actually creates like a turbine effect and pulls air
so it's almost like a pressure change, pulls the air out.
And pulls it and draws it through the other side.
Fantastic. What's this?
Now this is ridge venting. What it is, it's almost like a horsehair, and you put that right along the peak of the roof.
Okay.
Then you're going to take your 3-tab shingle and cover it. So what it allows to do, so it doesn't stand out quite as much.
Gotcha.
So in high wind areas, it's a little bit better. In other areas where you don't want to see necessarily the maxi vents, right along the ridge. You have to cut a 2-inch gap along the peak so that the hot air can't escape, and it comes out through the sides. This
Okay.
works basically like just a filter.
So it's a flat vent, really.
It's a flat vent
Okay.
right along the peak, so it's not noticeable.
Flashing is important too. And can you do this on your own if you're handy?
You can do it on your own, but there are some safety concerns you have to keep in mind.
Okay.
You have to be tied off. You want to make sure that you've got, there is some tricks to it, but it can be done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're handy and you think you could do it, Rona's a good place to start. I'm sure you
Absolutely.
guys offer the service as well.
We have classic tiling, roof tiling. They do a great job. Our installs department's terrific.
Very cool. All right, we're coming back with some deck options as well. Good time to do decks.